You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm your host, Steph. It is Thursday, November 14th, and suddenly the vibes are feeling great with the 49ers. They've won their last two. Deommodore Lenoir has been locked up to a 5-year deal with the team. Christian McCaffrey is back. This is feeling suddenly a lot better than the last time we spoke. Monica, Football is Sexy, joining me today. Monica, how you doing?
Good morning, girl. I am ready to do this. I know we had a little bit of a break. I'm glad we're back. And second half, baby, let's go.
Second half of the season, and it's kind of a big deal for the 49ers. Now, last time we spoke, it was a little more pessimistic than it is right now. So how are you kind of feeling with the team now? Because the last time we spoke, I believe, was before they played the Cowboys.
Correct.
So they had just lost the game prior to that, and now they've won the last two. So how are you feeling these days?
It's weird not seeing the Niners logo in all of the top 5, top 10 division, leading the division. It's really weird. Like, I literally just posted all the divisional leaders, and like, there's no Niner logo. Like, it is very odd to me to see that. So it's weird, but I stand by the fact that we still have one of the best rosters in the league. Now, obviously, we need to get our chemistry back. We need to get moving in the right direction. Now's the time to get hot, right? Now's the time to get hot. Can't worry about yesterday. Got to move forward. And every game matters right now. The NFC West is no joke. It's going to be a battle. It's not, the Cardinals, what? What?
Make things interesting.
Marvin Harris Jr. is balling out. But our guys, listen, we have a mixed match of guys. I feel like everything we thought was going to be in the beginning of the season is absolutely everything we thought, opposite of what we thought.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. We wouldn't have written this into the screenplay. I don't think anyone saw this coming. However, and this is probably going to our Lenoir conversation, but I really, really believe signing our players matters.
Homegrown players too.
You'll never talk me out of that. And I have a famous phrase, Steph, but only famous to me, but I'll share it with you. And it works with almost everything. How it starts is usually how it ends. So if the beginning of the season, training camp, etc., starts really rocky, you're probably going to have a really rocky season. So look at the Dallas Cowboys. Rocky season. Look at that. Hey, at least we're not the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So,
but
I believe we're going to be the best. I kind of like that we're the dark horse right now. I kind of like that we're under the radar. I'm okay with it. But now it's time. It's go time. It's go time. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. They don't really have much of a choice at this point. And I agree. They do still have a very talented roster. When you were saying, who would have thought that the 49ers would look the way they look, I immediately thought about the rookies, because I don't think we imagined that the rookies would have such a large role in this season as they would coming into it. And a lot of that has to do with the injuries, right? Who would have thought
Absolutely.
Brandon Ayuk would be out for the rest of the season? Who would have thought Talanoa Hufanga, as soon as he comes back, he's hurt again, and Malik Mustafa's looking as great as he is, and he's outplaying George Odom, or they want to continue to develop him, right? Like Dominic Pooney, Dominic freaking Pooney. Like, who would have thought like how good he was going to look this season? I think that's the biggest thing for me that is so surprising. And yeah, I think while the game didn't look as clean as we would have liked against Tampa Bay, there is some optimism. There's still obviously some room for improvement, but the important thing is that they could win the last two games while still figuring some things out. Now, they need to figure some things out rather quickly now, because look, this game against Seattle is like, okay, you have one more week of grace period to get your act together, right? Then after that, it's on. It's really on, because I mean, you got the Packers, you got the Bills, you got the Lions in the second half of this.
Dude.
No, this is the time. This is the game against Seattle that you need to
statement
put it
game
all together. It needs to be a statement game. And like, there's been a couple of times, Monica, where we've said that, right? Like, this needs to be a statement game. Oh, it's going to be
nothing. And then nothing.
Happens. They look the same. So
we're like, the statement is bum bum bum. That was a statement.
Womp, womp. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a statement, and that's not
good
the
morning.
Kind of statement
Good morning, our people.
Needs. Shout out to the live chat.
Shout out to the live chat. We see you. What's up, Ty? Let's go.
Let's go. And Tanisha, who's always out here for our Thursday close. Appreciate it.
Girl, we love you.
We're going to have a Trash Talk Thursday and a trivia today, $10 trivia later at the end of the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But in regards to Deommodore Lenoir, Monica, you feel great about this, right? Like, I don't think there's anyone who has any second thoughts about this deal and how big this is for the team.
No, I was actually shocked that we did this. I don't know that anyone saw this coming. Did you see this coming, Steph? I did not see this coming.
Not mid-season.
Not mid-season. Right. Mid-season, I was like, wait, we did what? Because
it's rare.
This is very rare for us. We like to wait till the very last minute. But maybe we are learning, right? Maybe we are learning that the longer we wait, the more we're going to end up paying, because there's a lot of cornerbacks in the league that are going to be getting paid soon. So I think we're all happy about it. I'm sure he's happy about it. I am very excited that the front office is making this move right now. Now this guy has something more to even play for going out there and second half. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that matter. What goes on behind closed doors, locker room, contracts, end up showing themselves on the field. So to me, this is exciting news. I'm happy for Lenoir in particular. He's been balling out. Good for him. What I like is that he's not going to wait, see how much more he can get, and do all that. Like, he's like, you guys want to give me that contract now? Let's go. I love it.
And
easy, Steph, easy. Oh my God, we had an easy signing. What?
It feels good, right? Like it feels good. Shout out to the defense, because I feel like the defense, it's kind of smooth sailing. Like, even the Nick Bosa contract, while it took long, while it went to the 11th hour, it was quiet, and this one was very quiet, which we had no idea this was being built in the background. But we're super excited about it, and we've talked about it before, just like the let me refresh this. Well, we've talked about this before, the fact that he's a tone setter for this team, right? And that's huge.
Quiet signings behind the scene are sexy. Okay? Sexy.
You heard it here first. All right.
Put it on a shirt. Maybe I'll put it on a shirt. I might put it on a shirt.
There you go.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
And Lenoir, his reaction to this deal, he spoke with the media yesterday, of course, and he said, quote, "When my agent called me and told me the contract was done, I burst out into tears. I finally was able to," end quote. you love to hear stuff like that.
Love
I mean,
it.
that's the best part. And we know Lenore is absolutely deserving of everything he was going to get and everything he got from the 49ers. So I absolutely love this move. Excited to see the Hyena in this backfield for 5 more years with this team. So that definitely, after the last 2 wins, then having this tacked onto it, like I'm over the moon right now. Like, as far as vibes go, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about this team. I have to imagine like the locker room is in pretty good spirits, despite what happened maybe on the sidelines, last game, right? I don't think that was as big a deal as us fans made it. But I think the locker room is probably feeling good right now.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about that or no?
Well, let me. Yes. Why not?
Okay.
Right? Like,
okay. But let's finish on Lenore. We are so happy. I'm happy for his family. I love to see a humble guy who works really hard. It's just my favorite thing, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I would say about what happened.
That's right, Tanisha. We see that. Let's effing go.
Yeah, Demo. You say he's humble, but he's like humble, but also super, super confident in his abilities. Yeah. And he will let you know that. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that too, because that's also like tone setting. He's a trash talker through and through.
Yep.
Just love it. But what happened on the sideline? Speaking of trash talking, right? Like, it seemed like there was some light trash talk, not even trash talk. Okay, it was said that Debo, just told Jake Moody to lock in, and it was Tabor Pepper, the long snapper, who took some offense to it and got all riled up, and then Debo got riled up and hit him with that little kind of throat punch, whatever that was, on the sideline. I don't like to see players fighting, but I do understand it's a competitive sport. And sometimes tensions run high, especially when you're in a close game, as close as the one they were in. Every point counts, right? And every yard counts. If you're an offense that's putting your team in a position to get a field goal, you expect that field goal. You expect those 3 points. So I understand Debo's frustration. I understand Tabor Pepper wanting to defend, Jake Moody. They were both right, and in some ways they were both wrong. And I'll just leave it at that, because, like I said, I don't think they probably spoke or thought about this much more than we have.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll say this, putting your hands on another person, not great, especially on your own team. There's something about doing it on your own team. But I like that our guy Pepper, he's big. He's not little. So
for a long snapper,
I will say this. I like that he stood up to Debo. I liked seeing that part of it. A lot of people wouldn't have the balls really to stand up to Debo, and he did. And I was cool with it. Like you said, I don't think it's a big deal. I think everyone's frustrated. Everybody knows how big this game. We had to have this win. Like, we have to have almost every game, like, from here on out. Like, there's no joke. And otherwise, we're going to be the best wild card team in the 2024 season, which is just going to be weird. And look out. If we end up being a wild card, we will be the best roster-filled wild card you have ever seen. So look out.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. Look, and people know that. You don't want to mess with our team. So anyway, bottom line is, I agree with you. We don't love to see it, but we understand it. We want to win. I love seeing the quarterbacks. Sometimes I forget what game it was. Brock had thrown another interception and he walked over to the bench, and I've been riding Brock from day one, when everybody, like, from day one, I saw what I saw. And sometimes I'm like, Brock, I would really love you to kind of get a little mad. Like, I at one point I kind of like
we've
Brock.
said that. We've said that, right?
I want to see you throw the damn tablet down. Like, you're not a real quarterback in this league until you throw the tablet down. Let's go. And when that happens, Steph, think about me, because that shit's gonna go viral. When Brock loses his composure, viral moment. We'll be here for it, but hopefully not anytime soon. But you get what I'm saying. We like to see a little passion. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that, Monica, when I saw them get fired up on the sideline. I thought to myself, hey, like I've wanted Brock to do the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Debo is a leader on this team. He's a team captain. So him telling Jake Moody to lock in, even if he said it like, hey, you better lock the F in. Like, even if it
but
was
maybe,
like a little
I was gonna
spicier
say,
than it could
I
be
feel
spicy.
I feel like we might be missing a few key words to that. Because you
Probably.
don't just get mad. And I see you, Alberto. I agree with you. Like, nobody should be throwing stones on the same sideline, because you can't throw glass. What do they say? Don't throw rock. What is that saying? I forget. Whatever. The bottom line is you gotta always
glass and
whatever that thing
stones.
is. Yeah. But what I'm just saying, like, no player is perfect. Every player has had their moments. So it's just that you got to understand that the cameras are going to see everything.
Yes.
There you go. Thanks, Ty. Don't throw stones in a glass house. Thank you. Yes. So, like Brandon Ayuk couldn't have done that, because you know what I'm saying? Like, Debo's a little more like, I don't know, like, see, like Kittle could almost say anything he wants, because that guy's just a beast, right? So you just got to be careful of who's saying what. Make sure you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Let's get locked in. I don't think we're going to really hear about it again after this week.
We're getting a lot of good
There you
sayings
go.
now in the chat.
Yeah.
We got Callie saying people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Ty with another one. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
There
All right,
you
you guys are spitting
Yes.
bars in the live chat right now.
Yes.
Yes,
I love it. Hey,
Yeah.
there's one. Hey, if you point a finger, understand that you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. So
bar.
Yeah.
That's a bar
right. Debo only has one time. See, that's what I'm saying. People are gonna go nuts, like,
But everyone's gonna, like, most people will favor Debo in this situation and rest of the season over Tabor Pepper. Like, respectfully, I love Tabor Pepper. I think he's a cool guy. But I mean, come on, positional value wise, not really a comparison. So. We got another one here. You scared? Go to church from Alberto. Okay, yeah, you guys are bringing in all the sayings. But now, on this game on Sunday, another thing that we saw was Nick Bosa trying to battle through an injury. And this is where I want to tie into some injury updates, right? So Nick Bosa obviously didn't look 100% on Sunday. The lasting image of that game is going to be Nick Bosa holding Baker Mayfield's arms as he converts on 4th down. That was nuts, right? Unfortunately, that's going to be the image in our heads. But I think most of us know and understand he was dealing with a very painful hip injury, and he was limited all throughout the week. He spoke with the media yesterday, and I was actually maybe a little more concerned about this, because I figured, okay, he played last week. He's definitely not going to miss this week. But he was a little non-committal about playing. He said, quote, "We'll see. It's going to be definitely close. It's probably the worst thing I've had to play through, but hopefully I'm able to rest it up this week and get back out there," end quote. And he didn't practice yesterday. He was one of the many, actually, that didn't practice, but something that seems like it might go down to the wire as far as Nick Bosa's availability for this game on Sunday. And I just have to say, even with him not being 100%, I mean, he has to be out there, because if he's not, man, like, the pass rush really takes a big hit.
Well, I would actually prefer that he rests. I would like to see what we could do without him. Maybe not have him start. Let's see how we roll. Maybe he suits up. And if we can stay ahead of this team, I don't know that I'd put him in. We need him more against Detroit. We need him more against Green Bay. So I know they'll make the right call. I just don't need him getting, re-injuring for these next big games that we have coming on. Not saying that the Seahawks should be taken lightly. The Seahawks, even though their record is what it is, like they always give us a hard time. Metcalf is a beast. Like,
They
you know what I mean? They try, but they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though we beat them, and it's one of those games where you're just like, they're due, we're hurt. I mean, of course, I think we're going to win. Don't get me wrong. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those games where, I don't know. Do we want to risk re-injury on this game? I don't know.
Yeah, like that's the fear, right? If he plays through it, is there a chance that it can worsen? That we definitely don't want that, because like we've said, this is one game. This is probably one of their easiest games left on the schedule, this game against the Seahawks.
Right.
And even then, it's really important because it's within your own division, right? I think you can argue the Bears game in a few weeks, probably your other easiest game rest of season. But that's outside of your division at least. So you can argue this one more important than that. Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, Nick Bosa, if he's not there, like you're just not going to have a pass rush. Here's another good point that Alberto is making. Yetur Gross-Matos, who's been on injured reserve, he was a full participant yesterday in practice, so that's a good sign. He's been practicing, and he could be activated before Sunday's game, so that could be an extra body that the 49ers have. And also, Renardo Green, who had a great game on Sunday. Notice he was not on the practice report either, so he was good to go for Wednesday's practice as well. That's good news because with Mooney Ward potentially being out for another week, Renardo Green definitely gonna need to be out there, so that's a good sign. So maybe there's enough bodies that if Nick Bosa doesn't play and you want to be a little cautious and give them that extra rest, then they'll be fine. Remember, the last time these two teams played, Mooney Ward was dealing with like a knee injury, and he tested it out before the game. They elected to keep him out of that game, and I think it was, I don't want to say it was just precautionary because clearly it didn't feel right pregame, but I think they are on the side of caution sometimes, and they've shown that. So we'll see. It seems like it'll come down to the wire, like I said, with Nick Bosa. So we'll probably know more tomorrow when they dish out the game designations for Sunday's game, but something to keep an eye on.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's shift over to our quarterback, Brock Purdy. If you guys aren't familiar with Nickelodeon, I mean, I grew up on Nickelodeon. I don't know about you, Monica, but I love Nickelodeon. No?
Girl, listen, I'm not going to tell my age, but I was
don't age yourself.
Yeah. I'm not. You guys were on Nickelodeon and I was on Soul Train. So let's just go there. Like, that's, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, wait. Yeah.
And Tom and Jerry, like, for real.
Hey, Tom and Jerry, like, I watched them too, though. I watched them too.
Tom and Jerry, and what was the one where they were always trying to get the clues with the little bus? It was always like a detective. Yeah, they had like that bus, that like hippie little bus.
That was Magic School Bus. That was Magic School Bus.
No. There was another. It was like 5 Friends. Somebody's gonna know it. 5 Friends cartoon. They always had that bus. It was always like, who did it? Oh, I'm gonna have to Google it. Go ahead, keep going. We got. So we took a turn.
Snoopy? No, not Snoopy. Scooby Doo.
Yes, Scooby Doo.
Wow, how did you not remember?
Oh, Scooby Doo.
Wow, you possibly missed the biggest like detail of that show, the dog.
Yes.
You didn't mention the dog. You just
I forgot about the dog. I was thinking about the van.
In a bus.
The van.
I'm
not good on the pyramid. I'm not gonna be good. Oh my God.
I love that show too.
But
we got a question from Alberto. Is DK Metcalf playing Sunday? Yeah, he's actually missed the last 2 games, I believe, for the Seahawks. He was limited in practice Wednesday, and he's been non-committal on whether he'll play Sunday, but he did speak with the media Wednesday, which is usually like if you're speaking in the media, it indicates you're probably playing or on track to play. So I imagine he will play. He'll be back. But he played last time the 49ers played Seahawks as well. So, I'm not too worried about DK Metcalf. 49ers have had some pretty good games against him as well. But going back, I was trying to remember how we even got to old TV shows. But Nickelodeon has an MVP, so their take on MVP. And for Week 10, they named Brock Purdy as their MVP. What an honor! What an honor, right? So
Yeah.
based on his performance, right? I think, to start the game, he's not really in rhythm. He's throwing passes high. He's a little inaccurate at times. He gets settled in as the game goes on. Certainly in the fourth quarter, like something clicked, right? He kind of went on a tear. He was 10 of 14, if I'm not mistaken, in the fourth quarter alone, and put them in position for that game-winning field goal. So that was kind of a big deal. But he was a little hard on himself, actually, with that game and just didn't feel great about it, feeling like he could have done more. Debo on his podcast, which we've talked about before on the show, so every once in a while, there's some good tidbits coming from the Debo Samuel podcast. And he had one this week talking about Brock Purdy.
One
First
for
and
sure.
foremost,
Yeah.
come on. We got to
First
talk
and
about
foremost.
Brock Purdy, of course. 25 of 36, 353 yards, wildly impressive, 2 touchdowns. Question for you. Should Brock Purdy be considered for MVP?
I mean, if you ask me, I'm always say yes. I don't know what the outside noise may say, but in my eyes, even if he wasn't my quarterback and seeing him do the things that he do, I would still say yes. What really sticks out to me about Brock, and he kind of do this a lot, but I don't kind of too much like get into it because we was just on the way back from Tampa.
Yeah.
And I walked past him and he looked kind of a little frustrated a little bit, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, you almost just threw for 400 yards. We won the game. He's like, bro, I just got to be better. Like, that's always his mentality of like, I just got to be better. And he was just sitting there kind of like beating himself up. I was like, bro, we just won the game. This, that, and the third. He's like, bro, I can't, like, I just got to make this throw. Got to make this throw. Got to make, it's just the little things about Brock.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys get to see for sure. But the leadership skills of Brock is through the roof. And
yeah, so Brock Purdy, hard on himself. He takes accountability, not just in front of the media on the mic, but also privately, right? I mean, this was on the team plane on the way back to Santa Clara, as Debo was mentioning. So I thought it was wholesome too, that Debo was like, dude, like, what do you mean? Like, we win the game. You had this many yards and I thought you did great, kind of thing. And, trying to kind of talk him off the ledge a little bit about his performance. But yeah, Purdy, kind of guy who knows when he's not quite playing at the level he should be. And I appreciate that about Brock.
Absolutely. It just shows what I think a lot of us have seen from day one. He has that extra thing that a quarterback should have. And that extra thing is leadership skills, leadership, humility, teachable. I mean, he's just a good person. On top of that, from all accounts, it just seems like he's always going to take accountability and responsibility for what goes on. And a lot of quarterbacks, are more, cocky or more, you know what I mean? Blame it on the receivers. You didn't run the right route. Like, he's not that guy. He's not that guy. And he's always going to take a look in the mirror. And I think that's the kind of leader that we need. And I love it. I love to see it. I love to see his strive for excellence. He wants, look, it's very rare that a quarterback's going to be perfect, but I think he knows his potential. And I think he knows what he should be able to do. And he wants to get there. He wants to get there.
Yeah, and if we consider, let's just say for now, like what we know Brock Purdy to be, let's just say Brock Purdy 2023, that was his ceiling. Like, it might not be, but like, that's what we know. That's what we have to go off of right now, right?
Yeah.
So let's call that his ceiling.
Yeah.
If you're Brock and you've done that and you've looked that good before, it's got to be tough to, be trying to incorporate some new things or maybe do things a little bit differently, challenge yourself, and then also like not be playing at that level that you knew you once were playing at last season, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that's been a theme this season. He hasn't looked like the same guy. He in
Well,
some
and don't
aspects.
forget again, going back to, the off season, he hasn't been throwing to the same guys either.
True. Yeah.
And don't get me started, but mini camp matters. Camp matters. Training camp matters. There's a reason why we practice before the season is so that we can get the timing route. We can get the routes and the quarterback all on the same page. And when we don't have that, we're seeing a little bit of what I think would happen in training camps. You're a little off. You don't know that guy as much. He's throwing to new guys, Ricky Purcell. Not saying that it's the answer to everything. I'm just saying that this is important that we are able to practice with our guys on a consistent basis.
When Brock has like good chemistry and trust in a receiver or any player out there, it's like you know it. It's so easy to tell. Like Juwan Jennings, that's some real chemistry with Kittle. Dude, the fact that he like just launched a ball up like some moon ball up to Christian McCaffrey.
What a catch.
Before like Christian even like made his break up the field, like
Well, and what about that throw to Kittle in the corner? That's gonna be a clip that we see for a long time. So we do have this. It's just that you don't have Brandon Ayuk anymore. Devo's kind of on and off. So I mean, it's okay, but he does have to understand that he is a shorter quarterback. A lot of his balls get batted down. He's got to learn how to like figure that out a little bit. But I mean, I think there's so many great things about Brock that, like we've talked about before, he is our franchise quarterback, and it's just we're looking between a $7 million probably difference of what happens in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I know. We keep revisiting that conversation, right? So like based on the last 2 weeks, where are you at with him? Because you were trying to ding him like a few million last time we spoke because it was negative town that time.
Well, I think we're in the $53 million range, but I don't think we're at the $60 million range right now as I see it. I don't think that the front office would write a $60 million check right now. I could be wrong. Right now, we don't feel like a $60 million quarterback, right? But then you got Dak, who just, so who am I?
Yeah.
But I feel like, I'm feeling more in the mid 50s right now. But these next few games could bring that back up to 60
or down.
Or down. I was at 49 million, I think, like a couple weeks ago. Wasn't it a couple weeks ago? I was like 49 million.
Yeah,
I don't
know. Real tough.
But I am the biggest Brock supporter. Like, I love, like, I don't think you've ever heard me saying one bad thing about Brock, because there's nothing bad to say. He might not have a great game, but like, you're just never going to hear me. I just love the guy so much on and off the field, and I love his grit, and I love his accountability. There's nothing more sexy than a quarterback taking accountability and not throwing his guys under the bus like some people do. We won't mention names.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about our people. I'm talking about other quarterbacks, but we know who they are. Nobody on our team. You know?
I think the way that we look at Brock is very like level-headed. Like we're not super biased. Like, we like Brock. We really like Brock, but we're not like biased and to the point where we're overlooking some of his flaws too, right? Like, we call those out, and we've done that here. So, I like the way we look at Brock. I think it's fair, And yeah, we'll see what the rest of this season holds. I agree, it's going to be huge, but I do expect Brock to look pretty good against the Seahawks because he seems to have their number in all the times that he's played them. Has not lost against them to this point. So yeah, I expect that to continue. Now, people, with the season going how it's been so far, I'm seeing like people be very optimistic, and I'm seeing people be a little pessimistic. I myself have gotten a little more to the pessimistic side, but for the most part, I think I'm still pretty neutral. I'm just very curious. This is an exercise we're gonna do right now. But you don't have to get up and burn any calories, right? So what I'm asking you, what type of fan are you right now? Are you of the optimistic, the neutral, or pessimistic type? And maybe you feel like you're a little in between, or maybe it fluctuates week to week, but let me know in the comments. And this is the fun part, right? Like, if you are optimistic, what are you optimistic about? I listed a few options here on the screen. So optimistic, we've got the fact that Christian McCaffrey's back. The NFC is wide open. These are things that people have said, right? So I'm like kind of regurgitating some of that same things that optimistic people are saying. Rookies look great. Dre Greenlaw will be back soon. And Lenore extension, I mean, hey, that's a reason to be optimistic, right? And then for the pessimistic side, we've got, well, they need to win out. They need other teams' help. That's one thing I've kind of pointed out a couple of times. It's not just the fact you need to win every game from here on out, or almost every game from here on out, but you also need other teams to lose in order to get in that position that you want. Special teams, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Third down conversion woes, still an issue, and red zone woes, still an issue. So if you guys have any other ideas as to why you're leaning a certain way, let us know in the chat, because I'm very curious. Jedi says 12-5 is still on the table, so he's feeling optimistic. Tanisha says she's neutral. Season can go either way based on how our boys and coaches pull it together. Yeah, like that's how I'm feeling. Like, so I'm kind of on the fence, right, of both. So I guess that's neutral. And I'm like, they could, go on a run the second half of the season. They could be a wild card team. Who knows what can happen once you get in the playoffs, right? But we need to see those changes. Like, if there aren't any like good positive changes in third down and in red zone, then I have a hard time feeling like they can do it. But I think they're there. Like, they're on the cusp. They're on the cusp of it. And yeah, lack of touchdowns, Ty says, should be in the pessimistic circle. I got red zone woes on there. So yeah, kind of part of that same. But where are you at, Monica, in all this?
I am, I like to prepare myself for the worst, and hope for the best, right? So to me, the worst is I definitely think we could make it into the wild card, right? So for me, I'm prepared to be the best wild card team ever. And then it's game by game, quarter by quarter, half by half, right? And I can wrap my mind around that. But I look at the Chiefs. I'm looking at the overall Super Bowl, and you've got the Chiefs who are just pulling out win after win, ugly as heck, winning by less than 3, and they're still undefeated. You've got the Detroit Lions.
There's some voodoo happening in Kansas City. Man.
Yeah, you got the Detroit Lions. But like, everybody's one loss away when it comes down to it. You're one loss away from not being in New Orleans, and we're one win away. So if we can just so I guess to answer your question, I'm between optimistic, neutral, if that's a thing. Like, I'm a little bit of both, right? But we have issues, and that third down in the red zone, we've got to stop kicking field goals, for Christ's sake. Not only do we have to stop kicking field goals because we need 6 points versus 3. We now have a situation where we've been in this for a few seasons where I am never really confident since Robbie Gould has left us. I don't have that same confidence like we used to have just because of obviously what we've seen. So now now that affects your play calling, right? I don't know. Thank you, Snoopy. I'm Kyle. I'm like, dude, we have to get in the end zone more than ever. Not saying that, we can't really, well, it's the truth. We cannot really guarantee 3 points anymore. And that way of playing isn't winning the game. We cannot be soft. We cannot be scared. We cannot play conservative. I think that the time for playing conservative doesn't work, and it definitely doesn't work against the Kansas City Chiefs. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why teams still choose to play the Chiefs conservatively. You have to go for 2 points. You have to go for it. You're not going to get the ball back, bro. Like, how many times do we have to see this? Dude, we go back to Baker Mayfield on the coin toss. I see you, Ty. Thank you. We go back to the toy toss because the coin toss because you knew it was a wrap.
Yeah.
You're not going to.
We all knew.
We all knew. You're like, bro, you just lost. So much so that now they're going to look at what they can do to figure out where the flip of a coin isn't going to decide a game, because the truth is it decided Super Bowl. It decided the game last week, because this is what happens when you play great teams. You're not going to get a second chance. And so you've got to put the 2 points, you got to put it on your offense. And that's what concerns me most with the Niners, is that Kyle doesn't trust our offense when it comes down to the red zone. Clearly. And I mean, he has reason. He has reason too.
Right now.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, the live chat's agreeing. I'm agreeing. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be prepared to take it, right? And you can't just assume that it's going to be handed to you. And look, it's a while away before we even have to think about the Chiefs. Or even I know you've been saying it since the start of the season, like that's where your head is at, like you're focused on beating the Chiefs. But man, like this team where they're at right now, they need to focus on what's right in front of them. And what's right in front of them, though, I think everything what you just said still applies, because it's like you have to take it. You have to be aggressive. And I think that comes from the offense. For whatever reason, like things stall in the red zone, right? Like they're getting to the red zone more than most teams in the NFL. Like they're like top 2, top 3 or something in getting to the red zone. But they need to figure some things out to get in there, right?
And here's the thing. This also comes down to coaching. And I will say this I say this a lot. Andy Reid, to me, is the best coach on the field right now, right? I love Kyle. I think he's an offensive genius. But coaching needs to get to our guys and say, hey, I'm going to let you guys know right now, we are going to be aggressive and we're going to go for 2. We're going to go for 4th down. So you guys better lock in and be ready, because I'm putting this game on your shoulders. I'm telling you guys right now, give them the heads up. Let them know we are not going to give it to the Chiefs. We are not going to do that to our defense. It's going to be the offense. So you guys got to get in that end zone. You guys have to be ready for the 4th and 2, 4th and 3. I don't care. You have to be ready, because we're going to give it to you guys. And it's going to be the offense who's going to win this game. I'm not going to play scared anymore. Like, that has to be a conversation in the locker room, and let our boys get psyched up, get our captains going, and realize that I'm not going to give it to the kicker. I'm not. We're going to put it on 11 guys. Let's go.
That's where they need to be at too, not just because like there used to be a point in time where field goals were automatic, and in that situation, okay, if you know you can get an automatic 3 points over possibly 7 or maybe 7 or 6, then okay, like maybe in that regard, I can understand the thinking behind getting the automatic 3. But right now, those 3s are not automatic. Like,
and here's the other problem
around that.
Here's the other problem is you used to be able to kick a 55-yarder and be like, cool. But now you've got, okay, cool. You just kicked the 55-yarder. You're up. You tied it. However, the other team now has, 40 seconds and their kicker can kick 60 yards. And so now you have and then you have the kickoff that just changed. Now they're like on the 30, 40-yard line. They only need freaking 20 yards to kick their field goal. So the game of positioning has also changed. Yeah. So you talk about the game of positioning has changed, and you talk about these kickers are now, I saw a stat the other day, which was insane. The percentage is like 70%, 80, 75% over 55 yards. It has literally gone up every year for the past 5 years. These kickers are getting better and better and better. So it's not what it used to be. You have to, in my opinion, in order to win these games and to beat the Chiefs in particular, you have to get into the red zone. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you need those points, and the reason that we're kind of where we're at is because, one, like special teams, that game of positioning that we're talking about, and your 3 points not necessarily being automatic, like all that has kind of contributed to the 49ers being in these very close games that they really shouldn't be in, because if you just scored your 6 points when you got in the red zone, I mean, it wouldn't even be a conversation. You'd be blowing out teams. Like there's and that's the thing, right? Like they're so close to being a team that averages 30 plus every game. I think they're at like the high end of 20 right now.
I would say like 26, 28 or something
which is
like
crazy, which is crazy considering that they're not even like what we're seeing right now. Like red zone could
we're not even at our best. We're not even at our best.
So that's what I'm saying. And you can look at that in itself as being a reason for optimism, because you could say to yourself, they're so close. Like if we just do this, if they just change this one thing, we're back to dominating. And like it really is kind of that close.
But for the life of me, when we are in the red zone and we are like 5 yards away and we're like at 4th and 1, 4th and 2, for the life of me, can we please go forward? Can we please be old school? Take it up the gut. Let's go. Like, it drives me nuts when I see I get the play option. I love all that, but like sometimes it just doesn't work out. And sometimes you just got to do what got you to that, got you to that place, and give it to McCaffrey now that he's back. And I'm sure, we have one of the best offensive rosters in the game. We just have to make those touchdowns when it counts, because the field goal is not going to do it. It's just not. It's just not. We missed 9 points. Holy crap. That's a lot of points. And our special teams, that's where we need to, that's a whole nother story. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season, but I will continue to say it. We might be the best wild card team coming in. We will see.
They're the best, worst team, right?
Yeah.
They're not even the worst, right? But like, you know what I mean? Like they're
exactly, Mike.
They're the best team.
I see what Mike's saying. Exactly. Thank you for that. A 50-yard field goal is not the same anymore. It's just not. It's not. So you have to play this game different. Has to be different. Red zone's going to be everything, honestly. Yeah.
Yep. I agree. Some of you gave your thoughts on what type of fan you are right now. So let me get through those. Snoopy says he's neutral until we start seeing indefinite wins. Those 2 losses versus Rams and Cardinals make me feel unsure. Tanisha says, in my heart of hearts, I ride for my team. So as a Niner fan, I'm optimistic. I also want to say that, like, don't let anyone tell you how to be a fan. Like, if you're a pessimistic fan, that is okay. You're still a fan. I see so many people like put others down because, oh, you're not a faithful. How you don't have any faith in this team. If you're like more of the pessimistic side, like some people just can't help that they're negative.
They're just that, yeah.
They're just that way, right?
And
But they're still
I'm
a fan of this team.
and that's probably truly their makeup as a person. Like I'm always more optimistic.
Exactly.
That's just who you are. That's fine.
Exactly. So it doesn't define who you are as a fan. I just want people to know that, because if anyone comes at you and says you're not faithful or this and that, don't listen to them. None of that matters. All right, we got another comment here. Somewhat neutral. Special teams. Moody continues to be atrocious. Still not sold on Sorensen. Kyle's play calling and many times frustrating. And then Adrian says all of these can be true at the same time. TBH,
Yep.
talking about some of the options that we have here listed as like optimistic or pessimistic. If they're all true at the same time, then and you believe that, then like maybe you're neutral. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Like I acknowledge all of these things at the same time, but I'm like on the fence very much about this team. But yeah, some changes to be made, and that'll dictate how we feel about this team going forward. But that was fun. That was fun to go through that exercise and get your guys' thoughts. I really love that. Shout out to the live chat as always. But Monica, we've got something exciting to talk about, right? Football is sexy. Your site, your platform has a shop. So tell us about that.
Our new collection is out. Go check it out, especially our holiday collection. We got some apparel that you're not going to get anywhere else because, as you know, I believe I mix passion and humor with football. One of my favorite sweatshirts that you can get right now is all I want for Christmas is a sixth ring. My Lord, I'm so tired of saying it. I'm wearing one of them right now.
Yes.
There's a few different options. There's one with an emoji that's funny. There's one more like go check it out. We've got I want a Brock sweatshirt that I love. There's just if you're a Niner fan and these are great gifts, even if you know somebody who's not a Niner fan. We have some really cool Charger stuff. My team is sexier than yours. We've got like really cool, unique gifts that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And of course, we gave your listeners a code FIS20 for 20% off. I personally love the crew sweatshirts and the hoodies. I'm a sweatshirt hoodie kind of girl. I think Brock, the one I want a Brock. I can see you wearing that, Steph. You got your code. Go get it. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's been a long time coming. We wanted to do different colors. We wanted to show love to different teams because football is sexy is all teams, all people. So guys, by the way, this is not just for women. I need to make that clear. These are unisex for guys. Rock our stuff. Get it for your girls. Just go out and check it. There's some really cool Commander stuff. I'm just telling you, we really did try to work on all teams, but of course, you know, I got a little extra love from my boys. So go check it out. And probably by the end of the season, all 32 teams will be represented.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. All teams, all love. We appreciate the 20% off code FIS20. So make sure you guys use that at footballissexy.shop to shop the holiday collection. You have other stuff that's not holiday either, so if you guys are interested in that, make sure you give that a look. And
you got to get the humor. But I have a line of all I want for Christmas is a new owner. I'm not going to say what fans could wear that one, or new quarterback. I'm just saying, so if you know somebody who's going through it this season, this is like the perfect gift for them. I'm telling you, different colors too.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you got really creative.
I'm buying it for a few of my friends who rock some other teams who are going through it, want a new quarterback, want a new owner. It's going to be great to give it to them. They're going to be like, love it.
Love it. Yep. Make sure you guys check that out. Thank you, Monica, for bringing that through. FIS20. Make sure you guys use that. But let's head on over to our Trash Talk Thursday. What are Seahawks fans saying about this matchup? They're not feeling too great, to be quite honest with you. Let's just read through some of these comments from the Seahawks Reddit. One user says, we'll put up a good fight when we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. This game will be determined by how often we implode. Another user says, I care about not getting swept by the Niners more than I do about making playoffs this year. Ouch. Hoping the team pulls their best performance of the season out their ass somehow. I can't stand to see that goofy clown Kittle be happy on the sidelines. First of all, who hates Kittle? Like, who?
What?
Yeah, and they were really upset about his quote unquote smug celebration, like his little ding.
Yeah.
They're not a fan of that. So I'm just like, okay, who hates George Kittle? Everyone loves George Kittle. Not just saying that because we're Niners fans, but geez. You got other fans though. Seahawks fans are keeping the faith. They said we're gonna win. I think that's the only one I saw that was on the positive side. You got others saying 49ers by 3 touchdowns. Seahawks user said 38-13 SF is their score prediction. Yikes.
Wow.
And then last one here. Can Geno finally have a game against the Niners? I know the team has deficiencies, but Geno seems to play worse against the Niners, like a mental block or something. Hey, that mental block is real. We've talked about that before, Monica, the power of the mental block and having lost to a certain team many times in the road. The 49ers have fallen victim to that a couple of times in recent memory, right? But it definitely seems like Geno Smith kind of feeling that with the 49ers.
Absolutely. I think every team has that one team they just can't seem to get over. And we already know who that team is for us. I don't mind being that team for somebody else, so I'm good
Right?
with it. Yeah. But this is going to be a great game to really see where we're at as we head into these big games coming up. I mean, these games after Seattle are going to be like playoff vibes. It's playoff vibes. These are teams that we beat last year. These are teams that were up at halftime last year that we came back and beat. They're going to be out for our heads. They are going to want to beat us in a whole nother way, right? So it's that emotional part of this. And it's going to be, well, we're going to have to dig deep, and we're going to have to show that we are that team that we believe we are. These are going to be big games.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely can't look too ahead, right? Like we're talking about the fact that gauntlet the 49ers are going to go through, obviously big for their playoff implications in their chances at getting in. But you can't overlook Seattle either. I mean, yes, they're the last in the division right now, but every team in the division plays each other tough, right? And you've got your one game behind from that last wild card spot as it stands today. Well, the Packers are on that spot at number 7, and they're playing the Bears this week. Anything can happen, right? But I'm just saying, like, you're one game behind. So these divisional games and that game next week certainly going to be big as well for this team. Every game is big from here on out for the 49ers. So they need to put their stamp on these games and make a statement. That's what we've been saying. Hopefully we actually see it in this one. And for the other games after that, I don't care how close they are. I just, as long as they get out with the win, that's what's going to matter most. But let's get to your guys' favorite part of the show. We got our $10 trivia for everyone that's in the live chat. As we say, I ask you a trivia question this week. It is, which former 49ers kicker holds the team's single season record for most field goals made with 44? Now, you guys in the live chat, whoever gets this right first gets $10 sent to them from me. So get your guesses up in there. And yeah, you like how I made this one a kicker theme.
Yeah, I see where you're going. I
always try to keep it on theme to something relevant. Tanisha, you are just like, you always sweep our $10 trivia. She gets acres. And yes, first guest, David Akers, holds the team's single season record for most field goals made with 44. Just to put that into perspective, like last season, right? I felt like the 49ers had a lot of field goals and whatnot. Jake Moody, 21 field goals made this season. And that's with some of his misses, and he's missed some games. 16, he's made 16 this season of 20 attempts. So that's kind of crazy that he already has 20 attempts, and last season he had 25 attempts. Isn't that crazy as far as field goals? I think that really speaks to the red zone issues that we're talking about.
What does that say? Seriously, that's insane.
Well, at least the 49ers aren't, kicking 44 field goals. But he was pretty automatic. So that was a pretty good time. But thank you guys so much. Oh wait, Tanisha, you know how to send the money by now, so put that request in.
We should just put her on a automatic enroll. Automatic enroll every Thursday. Yeah,
just a schedule. She's on schedule now. All right, so make sure you do that, Tanisha. I'll send that over. But live chat, man, you guys were awesome today, spending your Thursday morning with us. We really appreciate it. Make sure you like this video if you haven't yet. Like we mentioned, make sure you shop on footballisexy.shop to get some holiday shopping done for you or your loved ones. Make sure you guys do that. Audio listeners, make sure you leave a rating, leave a review. It really helps me out. But for now, folks, have a good rest of your Thursday. Peace.
Let's go.